welcome to Up South, your one-stop destination for all the top stories of the day from South India with me, T.S. Sudhir. Our big focus this day, Tuesday evening on Up South, is on children. Two startling reports from Kerala and Andhra Pradesh. In fact, we'll be opening the phone lines in just a bit, so please do call in and let us know what you think of these two extremely disturbing stories coming in from these two states. Our top story this evening will make you think twice the next time you decide to post your kid's photograph on Facebook. My colleague Revati Rajivan from Thiruvananthapuram Road reports that these Facebook pages do not violate any norm of Facebook, the social networking site, but actually what they do is extremely devious and dangerous. And make no mistake, this is a child porn Facebook page inhabited by a den of pedophiles. Every single post had pictures of young girls, mostly school-going and teenagers, with vulgar and sexually explicit comments. The discussions of the group are mostly in Malayalam. Most pictures seem to have been randomly taken from personal Facebook profiles with comments posted like, "What would you like to do to her?" A couple in Kerala decided to take action against the group and filed a complaint with the cyber police in Kerala. The two community pages have now been taken down.
Particularly portrayed pictures of underage girls who's between 5 to 13 or 15, and the comments were and the comments which were on that page was really horrible if you look at it, and it's a chilling experience for us.
Yeah, and actually the page admin was asking the commenters like, what do you want to do with this girl, and so on like that, and it was really horrible for a human being like us. And then we decided to make a complaint against this, and we went to Cyber Cell on March 24th, and we filed a complaint on this matter with the screenshots of the page and the comments and all that. And they told us to wait for 2 weeks, so they will send the same to Facebook for the review.
They are asking the photos, including photos and details, personal details. It can be moved to other forms. So there are number of cases registered that we are investigating. The problem with the police is we are not getting any proper complaint at all. We will get any complaint or we will register a case, whatever it may be, wherever the IP will be, we can register and trace it.
Facebook usually asks what is on your mind. The problem is when you post pictures of your children, you do not know what is in the mind of lakhs of people on Facebook. Many of these online pedophiles are waiting for an opportunity to misuse and abuse the pictures you put up on the virtual space.
Let's now go across to our Deputy Editor Shiv Varu to understand what kind of filth and sexually explicit language is there on these Facebook pages that has been taken down ever since the complaint was made.
Well, this gives you a sense of the kind of pages that have actually been shut down by Facebook after a complaint by an alert individual in Kerala. There are thousands of pages of these kind catering to pedophiles across the world, but these pages contain pictures of kids, students, school children, all of them minors, taken from other people's Facebook profiles. One doesn't know who these pictures actually belong to. We've had to blur these pictures because they're all of children and they cater directly to pedophiles and people wanting to access child porn. Take a look at this picture. A picture of a girl posing in front of a camera, totally harmless picture, clearly, apparently ripped from somebody else's Facebook profile. But here's where the really scary stuff starts. You've got a lot of shares, a lot of likes, and filthy, endlessly filthy comments, both in Malayalam and in English, about that particular girl. Suggestive, sexually explicit comments about little children. Now, pages like this one, there are other pages which go by filthy names like Hot Little Angels and such, that have been shut down, but the simple fact is there are thousands more pages that are still out there. So it's an uphill battle actually cracking down on pages like these. That's the nature of the internet. Now that's the cyber cell of Thiruvananthapuram city that actually responded to a person whose name we can't actually divulge here on Headlines Today, who actually initiated the crackdown and asked the police to intervene. The cyber cell processed her request and said that the user was located in Saudi Arabia, which is outside their jurisdiction, but Facebook actually shut their page. The scariest thing, of course, is pages like this containing identical pictures which contain the same users, same members, are in a profusion right now, and there is no system in place to actually go after every single one of them in a comprehensive manner. So until then, pictures of children, anybody's children, can be accessed and put up on Facebook pages of this kind for perverts to come and comment on.
Right, that's extremely disturbing, as Shivarur was explaining. In fact, you can call us on our phone line 0120-432-5038. In fact, let me cut across now to Sunitha Krishnan, who is a social activist in Hyderabad and also an advisor to the Kerala government's Nirbhaya project. In fact, she was one of those who actually got in touch with the complainant who made the complaint to the Kerala Cyber Cell. Now, Sunitha, this is extremely disturbing and shocking. Now, the comments, as we have seen there in Malayalam, are also full of filth. Now, what does it say about the kind of people who are actually going to those Facebook pages, and what is worse, posting those kind of extremely filthy comments?
I think more and more technology is being used, or rather I would say misused, by sex predators, and it's becoming very, very like the space, safe space for women and children is shrinking by the minute, as both offline and online mediums are becoming more potential grounds for predators to prowl around. And this particular Facebook page, which looks very innocent at the face of it, is actually a page for pedophiles to discuss and find answers about which is the next child target they should have.
Right, Sunitha, most of these IP addresses are outside of India. Now, given these kind of legal loopholes, now what can parents actually do to ensure that their children's photographs, when they're posted on their Facebook profiles, are actually safe and not taken off and posted on different other Facebook pages and invite these kind of comments?
Two things, Sudhir. This particular Facebook pages that we have been seeing for some reason, and I would say my answer, my response right now is very, very narrow in terms of limited knowledge, but most of it I have seen it from Kerala and Malayali speaking people. So that's for me a very scary and frightening thing, that seem to be so many Malayali sex predators around. This particular Facebook page was investigated by the cyber cell, and it was found to have an origin from Saudi Arabia, and that is why one of the demands that I have had in Supreme Court today is to have a national task force which can look at not just interstate issues but international issues too. For state police and state cyber cells, it's very, very difficult, but at the same time it's very difficult also to talk about safety for parents on online medium, because if you see these pages, the kind of pictures that has been posted of children are any normal children. Any parent would post their child's photograph and saying, okay, my child came first, first in school, or as simple as that, as innocent as that. But what somebody else is making of that picture is what is scary part, So it will be very wrong to say, please don't post pictures of your children, but then I think it's very important for all of us to start looking at safety, even online. As of now, we only think that it's our roads and our buses and our schools and our houses which is unsafe. But today we need to start acknowledging that even online space is as unsafe, and therefore we need to start applying our minds to see how we can change that.
Absolutely. You make a very, very valid point, Dr. Sunitha Krishnan. Online safety, especially of children, and especially when these kind of photographs are posted on our Facebook profiles, how safe are they? And parents will really have to think twice before actually then they post those photographs on Facebook. My colleague Rohini Swami also joining me from Bengaluru. Rohini, what are the reactions that you're getting from parents? Obviously, they would be concerned given the fact that Facebook is pretty much a way of life now.
Well, definitely, parents are on the alert, especially when it comes to posting pictures of their family also. I'm here with a parent family. I can ask you, Kasturi, my first question. Sure. Do you fear putting up pictures of your family or especially your children on Facebook because there are a lot of predators these days?
I think that's absolutely right. It's actually quite worrying. I mean, we as a family have taken a bit of an active call that we don't want to put too many pictures of our kids up. And even if we do, we restrict it to it being, visible only to friends and to the family. So because, you never know these days, people are able to copy these pictures, and morph them into something. It's not something that I want to expose my child to, or frankly, even myself.
But do you also kind of guide and advise your children about it?
So my son is only about 7, so he still hasn't sort of learned what it is to be on the Facebook. But these days, kids are learning pretty quickly about the internet. What are the kind of do's and don'ts as parents? Now we have to figure out what are the kind of firewalls that we have to set up, and what are the specific things that we have to do, what sites shall we allow the child to see. Yes, it's important. I think we have to talk to our children and tell them what are the do's and don'ts of the internet. It's part of the education and growing up today.
Correct. And parental guidance, and that is most important, along with the fact that when anybody also posts a picture, they see to that only certain people have access to it. Otherwise, predators are out there in the open trying to misuse that. So it's better to be safe rather than sorry.
Right, absolutely, Rohini. The parent, they are making a very valid point that one, of course, as you said, parental guidance is important. Of course, the do's and don'ts of using the net, especially Facebook. Thanks a lot, Rohini, for joining us. Welcome back. You're with Up South. Now, is this a country for children? That's likely to be your reaction when you see this next story that comes from Andhra Pradesh. A 13-year-old boy was allegedly detained at a police station in Prakasam district of Andhra Pradesh because he was accused of stealing gold jewelry. Apparently, only the sentry constable was on duty at that police station at that time, and the sub-inspector who's in charge of the police station was not on duty and was out of station. Once this footage became public, an inquiry was ordered and the local sub-inspector has been suspended. There you can see the visuals on your screen. The minor 13-year-old boy chained to his leg for 5 days at this police station in the Prakasam district of Andhra Pradesh. Joining me now from Hyderabad for a perspective is Dr. Shanta Sinha, former chairperson of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Dr. Shanta Sinha, that the images that we are showing from this police station in Prakasam district are extremely shocking. What do they really say about the kind of attitudes that the men in uniform really display in our country?
I think that it is totally objectionable, especially since the government always boasts of the trainings it has done for the police on the Juvenile Justice Act. In fact, every police station must have a special police juvenile unit, an SPJU for short, and they will have to refer each case to the Juvenile Justice Board. It seems nothing of this sort has happened, and it is blasphemous to have a boy chained and then kept in the police station for 5 full days. So I would think all in the police, from top to bottom, should be held responsible for such a violation of human right and violation of child right in this case.
Dr. Shanta Sinha, what is equally blasphemous is the police feeble defense. It says that this boy was a habitual offender. He was accused in the past also of chain snatching, but then to put him in a police station completely goes against protocol.
First of all, let me tell you that the child is in conflict with law and cannot be treated as an offender. So there is no question of whether the child is innocent or not innocent. The child has to be immediately referred to the Juvenile Justice Board, and it is for the Juvenile Justice Board to decide whether the child should be in institutional care or whether the child should be left to be monitored into doing any other activity which they think will reform the child. So the question of innocence or not innocence is not what the police have to decide, it is what the JJB, the Juvenile Justice Board, has to decide. The magistrate in the Juvenile Justice Board and the social workers in the board, they decide. And also I must say that if this child has committed offense and is a repeated offender, as they say, one must find out why is it so and who has failed. Was the child going to school? If the child was not going to school, why was he not going to school? Then what kind of nexus did the child got into? I think you will have to ask many more questions about the background of the child before one, in fact, incarcerates the child in this manner.
Right. Dr. Shanta Sinha, thanks a lot for joining us with that perspective on this story coming in from Prakasam district of Andhra Pradesh. Now, two women in Bengaluru decided to renew their love affair with the sari by deciding to drape the sari at least 100 days out of 365 days in a year. In fact, the 100 sari pact is now trending, and this is what my colleague Pratibha Raman reported from Bengaluru.
Dancer myself, it's always a pleasure to wear a sari, and I have some of the beautiful ladies in their beautiful saris, all of them part of this 100 sari pack. We're already 50 days into it, and all of them have some interesting stories to share. I have with me one of the brains behind it. I'm sure you have a lovely story to share.
Well, I'd like to share the story that you and I discovered together. The sari has become a medium of communication, a medium of culture, a medium of expressing ourselves. And I walked in and saw you in your beautiful sari, and I said, wow, Pratibha, what's the story? And we spoke about our schools. We discovered we went to the same school, and we spoke about our graduation sari, and that was a lovely share.
That's right. That kind of makes me want to do not want to declare how old I am. But then that besides, in fact, it's not just about wearing a sari, but it also is about how you carry yourself. And this beautiful lady actually became famous because of her lovely red bindi. Would you actually tell us how it happened?
Well, on the second day of the sari pact, I walked into a restaurant and I had this family sitting at a table next to us, and finally she walked up to me and she said, I recognized you from your big red bindi that you were wearing, and that's how, and now we're friends actually with the entire sari pact. So yeah.
Right. In fact, Anju is also the other brain behind this 100 sari pact, and in fact she was once upon a time a journalist herself. So what kind of a story would you like to share?
Lots and lots of stories. First of all, I want to just say that the 100 Sari Pact is all about celebration. It's all about the celebration of our lives. It's about the celebration of our stories. As a journalist, I remember as a rookie journalist, I used to go for interviews with dignitaries and with heads of companies, and I would don the sari because it would give me the confidence. There's nothing that says a woman is in control as much as a woman in a sari, according to me.
So it's not just about celebration, but every sari has an emotional bond. You connect with it emotionally, and in fact she has one such emotional story to share.
What I'm wearing today is a Telia Rumal from Andhra Pradesh, bought by my mom some 40 odd years ago on a holiday. It hasn't seen light of day since she passed away so many years ago, and I'm wearing it today. I never felt closer, not just to my mom, but to all the gorgeous women of this country. Thank God for saris and the 100 Sari Pact.
Right, but this young lady does not have an emotional connect, but she has something more to it. Ma'am, could you tell us what exactly is it? Is it about the weave? Is it about the fabric?
My connection with the sari is pretty much the exploration of the weaves of this country. One small story, when I was searching for a particular weave which was done about 15 years ago, I came across that weaver after a very long time, and I showed him the picture and I said, do you make this anymore? He said, no, I don't weave at all anymore because my children are educated. But he picked out the sari off 15 years ago, all rat-eaten and torn, and I just grabbed it and I said, okay, thank you very much, as if my entire mission of looking for the textile was over because I had found what I wanted to.
So it is basically a celebration. This 100 Sari Pact has given us so many stories and so many connections, so many conversations. It is indeed a beautiful way to start your day, especially when you wear a sari and get out.
Right. I can see both my colleagues in Bengaluru having signed up on that 100 Sari Pact. That is a lovely report to end Up South on. Thanks a lot for watching. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.